Welcome to another tutorial about Poser and how to use it best. Today I'm going to be showing you how to take a makeup overlay and do just that. Overlay it onto a already existing facial texture. You could do the same thing with a tattoo, overlaying it on another body part of your figure. I'm going to be working with Victoria 4 and her face and overlaying makeup on that. First I'll be locating the makeup. If you're following the tutorial, you'll probably be going and grabbing the same texture or something similar. Of course you can use your own. Now I don't have to explain what I'm doing here because of course you're watching a video and you can follow along here pretty well. What I'm going to be doing is using color math, and I want you to notice two things here as soon as this opens up. One, the background color on my makeup is completely white. Therefore, I want the background color on value number 2, which is where the makeup will be placed, to also be white. I'm going to drag first the regular face texture here. I'm going to switch this over to multiply. Make sure you can see it. And then I'm going to drag the makeup right here. Boom. And you can see it right here. Third thing you're going to do is find out where your main texture is located in your shader setup and where it's plugged into your main network here. Now your main network has it plugged into the diffuse color. Same thing. So what you're going to do is take your new shader setup and plug that right in. And you see it show up right there. The result that you end up with is seen here in this render. This is that original texture with the overlay applied. Well, what I'll be doing next is showing you how to take your original makeup texture, which is right here, and what I'm going to do is show you how to use an HSV slider, which is the same thing you have in Photoshop, which is your hue saturation slider. What you're going to do is go to HSV, as though you might not have guessed that, since that's exactly what it's called. Just drag your makeup right into that first channel called color. Now your hue saturation is right here. Hue saturation value. This is your, what in Photoshop would be called your brightness. So first of all, let's check the brightness. If I bring this all the way, well, really far left, which is turning it really far down, as you can see it makes it really dark. Again, same thing you get in Photoshop. So let's turn it back to 1, that'll get it back to the value. If you raise it higher than 1, that'll make it really, really bright, start to wash it out. You know, do that at your leisure. Saturation you've got, if you turn it all the way to the left, of course it's going to turn to a grayscale image. Let's switch that back to 1. And of course if you type in a number higher than 1, say 5, then you're going to get a really oversaturated image. Okay, now your hue, this is just like Photoshop. You go left really far, and I think this, what is it, it'll turn yellow or something, or green? Okay, it turns a slightly off red. Whatever. You get it, you know how these things work. Anyway, midway turned my pink and red values to a green. You can go higher than a 1, of course. So I'll do another 5. And as you can see, I get this nice multicolored rainbow bright looking thing. I'm going to hit this back at a 1. So as you can see, that's how that works. So if you wanted to, say for instance, make a character and then sell multiple makeups with it, it's pretty easy to do it when you do it this way. And that way you don't have to have take up a whole lot of hard drive space on someone's hard drive when you're really just doing the same makeup, especially those eyeshadows that people give away and they keep giving you the same face texture with, you know, the same 4000 by 4000 face texture with just slight little deviations like just eyeshadow placed on it. And it's just a waste. It takes up a lot of space and there's no good reason for it when it's a character for a poser. Now if you're using Daz Studio, hey, okay, you've got a whole different problem there. I'm not the guy to talk to. I don't know how to do quick stuff in there. I barely opened Daz Studio. I think it's a great program. I don't know how to use it because it, you know, I'm older, so I work with what I know what I like. like. This is what I like, and this is what I like talking to people about and on, because I know something about it. So at least I do this. Not that I have to defend myself to anyone, because I certainly don't. I can do whatever I like within the legal limits of the laws of the United States of America. Let's see. Okay, so now that I prattle on about that for a second, remember the map used to be this red thing, so now I've got this blue thing. All I'm going to do is just drag it over, and bingo bango, the color will change here. I'm going to go ahead and wait for my incredibly slow computer to catch up to what I'm doing. Scroll down, and as you can see, there it is applied, and I'm only on the facial texture. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and press apply to all to apply it to this entire face. I'm only working with the face. You know, if you're working with an entire figure, any figure, you're going to have to do this stuff individually, or use something called Shader Spider, which is a phenomenal little plugin for Poser. For those of you that don't have it, definitely get it. It's a lifesaver. This essentially does what Daz Studio does out of the box. I don't know why we need to buy something extra. It should do that already. Whatever. It just makes it so that you don't have to keep selecting stuff individually over and over and over again. So if you're going to apply a facial texture, you don't have to keep pressing nostril and lips and all that kind of stuff. It would just, you could hit it once and it'll do it for all the face. So anyway, there you see it right here. It's blue this time. I'm going to go ahead and render it out, and then I will show you what that looks like. Alright, so here's how it looks once it's rendered out. Easy thing. So now you see how this gets done. Now the makeup texture that I used was all one solid color. That hue saturation slider thing is pretty good to use when you have makeup with multiple colors in it. As long as you keep your image pretty simple, you're pretty much good to go. And of course there are other ways you could have done this. You could have used a PNG portable network graphic file. As long as it's non-interlaced and doesn't have a background, you could use that. It doesn't work so well with the method that I'm demonstrating, but it works for other methods. And there are other setups, and I'll go over those some other time. But for now, I think this is pretty good. If you have any questions, please leave them. If you have any comments, go ahead, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Please excuse my very slow internet connection and my extraordinarily slow computer, both of which hinder me responding to you, but I do try to get back in the meantime, and I will see you next time.